Hi everyone, so in this video, I'll be photographing the total lunar eclipse tomorrow evening. And yes, I know it's been a while since I last did a vlog on this channel, since the last one was around 11 months ago when I photographed a partial lunar eclipse, and I've been waiting for a year to photograph another total lunar eclipse. So I've been looking forward to this moment since 2021, and now I finally got the chance to capture another lunar eclipse. And so many things happened since 2021, like for example, if you've been watching my previous videos, then you'll know that a very powerful typhoon locally called Odette once struck my country and knocked out the power and reception in my location. But that was already many months ago, around December 2021, and the city has already fully recovered since then. But other than that, I'm also now in my first year of college, but I would rather not mention the college I'm currently in, but I'm taking up a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Just to name some of the things that happened since 2021. And I also got new astrophotography equipment that allows me to have an easier time creating time lapses, especially day-to-night time lapses, since it is a DC coupler that allows me to connect my DSLR camera onto our household electricity. So I would not need to constantly replace the batteries anymore because I have an unlimited supply of electricity that can keep my camera running for any amount of time that I want. But I will not be using that equipment to photograph the total lunar eclipse tomorrow evening. So same thing as usual, I'm gonna use my DSLR camera and attach it to my telescope to photograph the moon as it goes through the different phases of the total lunar eclipse. And probably create like an image sequence of a total lunar eclipse like what I did last time to showcase the different stages of the eclipse as it progresses. And also probably like create a landscape shot of the total lunar eclipse if possible. And so if it's going to be clear skies tomorrow evening, then I'll have an image or images of the total lunar eclipse to show you at the end of this video. Also, the weather forecast states that it's going to be a bit cloudy skies tomorrow evening, but I do hope that the weather will not be too bad that I won't be able to photograph the total lunar eclipse. So I'm just recording this part of the vlog like a day before the eclipse because I'm just so excited to capture another total lunar eclipse because things like that don't happen all the time. And if I miss tomorrow's total lunar eclipse, then the next one won't be until November 8, 2022. I mean, no, the next one won't actually be until September 8, 2025, so I'll have to wait for 3 years just to photograph another total lunar eclipse if I miss tomorrow's total lunar eclipse. But there will be a penumbral lunar eclipse on May 6, 2023, and a partial lunar eclipse on October 29, 2023. So it's currently 5:30 in the afternoon and I still have some household things to do along with some schoolwork, and so for now, wish me good luck. Hopefully things will cooperate for the better tomorrow. So this is where I'll be photographing the total lunar eclipse tonight, especially in that area there because the moon will rise through that area right over there in the early evening. But I can't really do it in the balcony where I initially did my last vlog of the total lunar eclipse because this time around a bunch of trees will be blocking my view of the lunar eclipse, so I can't do it in the balcony anymore, especially in the early stages. So I'll be here downstairs during the early stages of the lunar eclipse, just to photograph the moon itself. So I'll be placing my telescope in this area and point it right over there as soon as the moon becomes visible. But of course, during the later stages of the eclipse, I'll go back to the balcony because it's way more comfortable there. But besides that area, I also have this spot here where I can probably photograph the early parts of the total lunar eclipse as the moon goes through that area of the sky there. So probably if the moon is going to be visible, then I will be able to photograph the moon in its early stages as it goes through the early stages of the eclipse. But the thing about this area here is it's really full of foliage and there's a lot more mosquitoes than in the other area, and compared to being in the balcony up there. So it's going to be a bit more uncomfortable here and more of a health risk. Okay, so I already set up my telescope here so that I can now photograph the total lunar eclipse, and I'm also going to prepare a fan because for sure I'll be sweating outside due to the humidity of the air, and it's going to also be quite hot. So for me to not sweat a lot, I'll be bringing this thing with me while I photograph the eclipse.
2 hours later.
Okay, so the moon itself is already risen and it's already right around there. It's blocked by that big tree. So I will have to wait for the moon to become visible in any of the spots that I chose to photograph the total lunar eclipse. And Jupiter is already visible too, which is up there, that star. That is Jupiter. Okay, so the total lunar eclipse is not yet actually visible in any of the locations that I chose because of a big tree that's blocking my view of the moon itself. And it's currently 6:19 p.m. and the peak of the eclipse occurs at 6:59 p.m. so there's still time. And the moon rises really quickly into the sky, so I really do hope that I can catch the peak of the eclipse because that is the best show, the best part of the show of today's total lunar eclipse. So for now, I will have to wait. Okay, so the eclipse itself is already visible down here, but like there is something in front of the moon, like a very big cloud that's getting in the way, that making the moon like really blurry. And so, which means that even if the trees weren't even there to begin with, the clouds will still come in and swoop in and ruin the show. So yeah, how unfortunate. And yeah, there's actually a bit of lightning. Okay, so I just took a photo of the night sky and I was right, there are a bunch of clouds all over the place. I mean, just look at this. This is the reason why I can't photograph the total lunar eclipse tonight, because these clouds are blocking my view of the moon. Even towards the direction of the moon itself, right where the tree is, the clouds are in the way. So if I can't get the moon tonight, then I have to wait until 2025 just to get another chance to witness a total lunar eclipse. Okay, so there's definitely lightning now and a very powerful storm system is developing and it's nearing my location. Okay, so it's now unlikely that I'll be able to... Oh my gosh, look at that! That was a very powerful lightning. And there were many more... And that's another one. So oh my gosh, it's really unlikely that I'll be able to capture today's total lunar eclipse. So for now, I might just do a time lapse just to get this thunderstorm. Okay, so what I ended up doing is that I'm now creating a time lapse of the thunderstorm because look at all of those clouds. It's very unlikely that I'll be able to photograph the total lunar eclipse. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm just creating a time lapse of the thunderstorm and capturing the lightning as it occurs. So yeah, for now, I'm just gonna create a time lapse of the thunderstorm to create something for tonight.
A few moments later.
Okay, so finally, I've now got my first image of the total lunar eclipse today, but also it's already the partial eclipse now, because the clouds just cleared out recently, and it's already near the end of the eclipse because it's already 8:40 p.m. and the event ends at around 9:59 p.m. So yeah, it's so close to the end already, but at least I got something from the eclipse today. It's been a while since I last captured the moon like this and the Earth's shadow on the moon. I mean, it's still spectacular because it still reminds me of how big the Earth truly is compared to the moon. It reminds me of all the things in the universe, just by looking at Earth's shadow moving across the moon like this. So it's still amazing, even though it's like the last part of the lunar eclipse. And yes, I'm recording using my phone right now. So the cloud is just right over there. It's already retreating from where the moon is. And the stars are coming back. That one, I think that one is Saturn or Jupiter. There's the moon right there. Finally, I captured the lunar eclipse. Okay, so it's already the penumbral part of the lunar eclipse, and there are already some clouds getting in front of the moon. And I guess it's now time for me to call this thing a night now, because the lunar eclipse is already coming to an end, and there's really much that I can capture anymore, because it's already the penumbral part of the eclipse. So I still have some household things to do. So I'll have to put my telescope inside now and prepare to go to bed now, because I still have face-to-face classes tomorrow. So baboosh. So this is my final image of the total lunar eclipse when the clouds parted. As you can see, there is still a significant amount of Earth shadow cast on the moon. I stacked 12 images to create this composition, allowing me to bring out more details on the lunar surface through lucky imaging. I did not make an image sequence of the eclipse since the number of images was too few. However, I did create this short time lapse of the partial eclipse after the totality ended. You can see the Earth's shadow move across the lunar surface as our natural satellite continues its orbit around our planet. Even though I could not photograph the early stages of the event, capturing a lunar eclipse again was a spectacular experience since it had been a while. Besides the eclipse, this is the blended photo I took of the thunderstorm that blocked my view of the moon. As you can see from one of the clips I added to this vlog, the lightning was fierce, but there was no thunder since the storm was too distant. However, it is my first time creating a composition like this because I rarely dwell on lightning photography. Other than that, this is the short time lapse I took of the passing thundercloud before the sky cleared out. I slowed down the video to make the lightning strikes more obvious. I did not take too many photos for the time lapse since the moon became visible later on and the eclipse was still ongoing. Making this vlog took me a while due to schoolwork, and we had a recent short trip to Dumaguete before I could complete this video. As a result, these are some of the images taken during our travel to Dumaguete. I did not vlog during this time since we did not plan to stay there overnight, so I added the Dumaguete photos here. If you want to see more of these images, please follow me on Instagram in the description below. So that is it for this video guys, and it feels good to return to vlogging after nearly a year of not doing so. I look forward to creating more vlogs when I have the time and if spectacular things, such as an eclipse, come up. I also hope that you enjoyed watching this video and remembered what it felt like observing the total lunar eclipse last November 18 this year. However, I will return for another astronomical events video tackling the celestial events for December 2022, so stay tuned. And as always, clear skies, stay safe, and enjoy the universe before your very eyes. And see you next time.